What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. As we know, March is approaching rapidly, and I'm going to be engaging in a 90-day run, a 90-day protocol, track, stack, attack. Track, stack, attack, right? So if you don't do these things in order, you're liable to get left behind. So I'm here to alleviate that. So let's get straight into it. Phase one is tracking. It's pretty, straightforward and simple. This is low pressure. For the first 30 days, all you have to do is observe yourself, observe your habits, observe your income, observe your spending, and that's it. You can even observe your weight, but I'm trying to keep this as simple and sustainable as possible. So essentially, look at your spending. I'm not telling you to budget. I'm not telling you to do shit. Just be made aware of what you're doing. You can use certain apps like Copilot, like I use. I heard people use Monarch Money, Rocket Money. There's so many tools. There's so many tools you can apply to just plug in your banks, your credit cards, whatever, and track what you're doing on a monthly basis, right? Cool. So just check your spending. At the end of the month, that's the goal, but you should probably be doing this like weekly so you can see what you're doing on a week-to-week basis where you're leaking, right? But during this tracking process, I want you to literally just try to put aside a small amount of money. Like off rip, you should already know your expenses, but it don't take a whole 30 days to understand your like your expenditures, like what really coming out on a month-to-month basis. Like if you watching a video like this, I'd assume you're kind of responsible enough to have a decent baseline, but if not, it's okay. But yeah, let's try to create a buffer during this tracking period. So even if it's just 300, maybe it's $500 that's in your checking that acts as your zero. So you're not letting your account go to zero. Maybe, yeah, 500, that's fair. Would like something higher, but we can rock with that for now. So that's your floor. Like if you're at 500 in that checking account, that's zero. You don't have much freedom to spend and go do dumb shit because that's no money. That's to just keep you from crumbling your system, right? That's for another video. Anyways, so for the first phase, just observe your habits and potentially build a little buffer for your account. Now, you're going to see why the buffer is necessary. So, phase two, this is from day 30 to 60. Now, we're going to stack. Stacking is all about paying yourself first, right? Paying yourself first, whether that's monetarily or paying yourself in discipline, because discipline compounds for your benefit in the end, right? So, what we're stacking is habits, discipline, and money, of course. So in this phase, I want you to automate everything. This is where the buffer comes in handy because it keeps the system afloat. So we're going to automate our bills, whether it's a phone bill, you got a car note, automate that, a credit card payment if you have that. But I don't see much else like that you have to automate. But whatever bills you have that you actively manage right now, automate it because that already takes a level of mental energy and bandwidth that you have a limited amount of, right? So each like active decision to pay a bill or make a transfer, that's a little draining to your capacity, right? It take away from your capacity. So I want y'all to actively, not actively, I'm tripping my fault. I want y'all to automate. I want you to automate your, whatever bills, auto pay. Cool. Now I want you to automate your savings. I know everybody income vary. Like I know it's hard, whatever, but automate your saving because you need to build some sort of safety net, like a little emergency fund. Ideally, starting out, like I want to say at least 5K because at that point you can sleep better at night. It's just 5K, but maybe that sounds crazy, but stack your first band, stack your first 1,000, right? Cool. If you want to do that in 30 days, it's simple. 250 a week. If that's a little too steep for you right now in this point, no shame in that. Stack what you can. So maybe that's just 100 a week. Maybe that's $125 a week. $250 a paycheck if you get paid bi-weekly. Whatever the case is, at least 500, but let's strive for 1,000, because that 1,000 give you a little leeway. You feel me? Even if you don't got, you ideally put it in a high yield savings, but if it's cash, it's fine. Throw your shit in a shoebox, throw it in a safe, whatever it is. Just don't walk around with that trying to spend it or flex, right? Cool. Now you've stacked that. We stack in discipline. Like, I would say hit the gym, but a lot of y'all, I don't know y'all lifestyles, but I would say implement the gym in that. Like some sort of schedule and structure that comes from the gym, that helps with building your money too. Unlike I just did with implementing that, because it was never mentioned in the beginning. But hey, work with me, right? So cool. So with this, now we tracked our habits and expenses and income. Cool. Now we're applying the information. Like with that info that you got from tracking, you can make certain tweaks. You can cut back on certain spending. You can be made more aware of your spending, so you can muster up a little more money and cut back in certain areas. You can play a little defense with the bread, because now you know what the problem is. You know what the leak is, so you can plug it. Right? Cool. Automate your savings. Pay you first. Before you pay the bill, before you pay your man, before you go buy that weed, before you go eat that food, bro, make sure that shit has already been put up, whether it's cash or high yield savings. I personally would like a high yield savings, especially if you're playing with more money. But cash, sometimes, it's a little more gratifying, and I get that. Cool. But anyways, now for the final phase. Let's make this nice and simple. Now that you've established knowledge, awareness, you built a little defense. You gave yourself a little moat with your buffer, and you've been stacking a little bit. Now it's time to attack. Assuming you're debt free, you are ahead of the curve. You're good. Now this is the point where you can, double down a little bit. Now you can keep up with the stacking, and then you can open up a brokerage account, open up a Roth IRA, ideally a Roth first, because you don't gotta put much, like literally 100 a month, just to start off would do you so good, right? Especially if you're young. But right now, the attack phase, this is when you get on offense, right? So if you got debt, pay your debt down, invest, and most importantly, to make all this possible, give your money jobs, give the money tasks. Like idle money is gonna escape you. It's gonna go somewhere. Trust and believe. If nothing else, this idle money just gonna go disappear. So give your money tasks, whether that's separated into another account, whether you just put up and stack because you've been learning to stack, but stack with a purpose. If you stack this certain amount of money, is it for your emergency fund? Is it to pay off a certain debt? Is it to buy a certain asset to invest with? Give that money a purpose, right? And yeah, like for the intricacies, all these things, like I might drop a separate video on each aspect, so you get, you get more in depth with it. But all in all, this was a quick short video to invite you on a 90-day run to change your lives. All you need is 90 days, bro. 90 days is short enough where you can stick to it, but long enough where it has a lasting impact on your trajectory. So come on. We had a little warm-up quarter. Q1 was a little warm-up. Now Q2's here. Spring approach, and that's like a new, like that's that new energy, you feel? That's really the new year. So it's your opportunity to change how your life going, change how your year gonna go. Cause a lot of us just be bullshitting year to year. Make a change, bro. But yeah, got some more financial content video on the way. I appreciate y'all for tapping and share, like, subscribe. Yeah, let me know something.